discussions about things that are in the works and our progress so far. It was very nice to see all of all of our faces. We have been talking online. So it was really nice to see our faces. We also shared ideas on things that we had done initially. It allowed us to know our strengths and the places that we need to, pick pick up. It was also quite encouraging because people were able to see that they were not alone in the struggle, and they were also not, they were also not alone in the successes. So it was a very lovely time. I had the we had a very lovely time.
That's great. It's wonderful. I look forward to the today I and my people will have a physical meeting too. My fellow coordinators in Plateau State. It has been an online thing all this while. Well, Shaliwa, but what do you think the chances are for GRV at this point in time? What have you guys been up to so far?
Oh well, I think he has a good chance if we understand. That was one of the things we actually discussed, that we understand the gap because of the court issue that needed time to sort out. And now that he is, it has all been sorted. I think we can heavily go out. We've made plans to we're getting banners that would have both Obi, Dati, and then him and his deputy, that's JRV and UFC. So we are also making sure that whatever, because we have a medical outreach that we are working towards, and we are making sure that at least as far as super volunteers is concerned, we are carrying, the candidate on our back. We're going heavily on educating people about him, educating educating ourselves and educating our volunteers, and as such, educating the general public about this candidate. We have, intentions to print, materials and, other items that would follow through in terms of educating people on what he has done, his plans, and his achievements. And we're also encouraging people that, get this information for yourself. The same way we're able to get all this information about Obi and know that, assure ourselves that, okay, he's tested and tried. We also have all this information online about GRV, and, let's educate ourselves. Let's, make sure that we are posting it online at regular intervals, that we are going out in mass and, just letting people know, because the main thing is that, this, sellable candidate, this preferred, like if you put them beside the other ones, he is a candidate that stands out, but he's not known. So it's our responsibility to make sure that we know him and others know him as well.
That's wonderful. Ladies and gentlemen, at this moment, I like to, of course, recognize the presence of our speaker this evening, in the person of Ndi Kato, aka Erka Fanchan. So I think we'll give her the space to formally introduce ourselves before we get on with the business for the night.
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening, ma'am.
Ndi Kato, a young executive director, even though, of course, now I'm on work on women's participation in politics and human rights. Thank you. Oh, and I'm spokesperson of the Obidati campaign. That takes some getting used to. So yeah, spokesperson of the Obidati campaign.
Once more, it's great to have you here, ma'am. Before we move on, what the nickname Erika Fanchang? Is there anything special about it? How did you come about the nickname? It's an interesting one.
Very special. I come from Kafanchan. And yeah, That handle means daughter of Kafanchan. I always want people to remember that I come from Kafanchan. The North is not just made up of one group of people, or people who have just one religion, or people who have just one tribe. There's so many of us in the North. My tribe, we're Fanswan. We're just about 30,000 in existence. We're not many people at all, but we're right there in Kafanchan. Our ancestral home is Kafanchan. So every opportunity I get, I like people to know that I'm from there. My English name and the name I answered for the better part of my life was Benedicta. And of course, that's a Catholic name. And when I started entering the public space, I changed my English name. I just put it in the background and decided to answer my middle name, which is Ndi Kato, because every time people hear Ndi, they would ask a question. Is that an Igbo name? I'm like, no, I'm not Igbo. Is that from the Niger Delta? No, I'm not from the Niger Delta. Where are you from? And then I get to explain to them my tribe. So through my name and that Twitter handle, many people know my tribe and many people know where I come from. And that also helps to keep us alive, because many tribes in the North have disappeared because people don't even know they exist. So when they get attacked and wiped off, nobody knows what happens. So I'm trying to keep my people alive with my name and my Twitter handle. Thank you.
You're welcome, Ma. That's wonderful. Before Samaris, we'd like to hear from you, please.
Hi, sorry, I'm driving. Can you guys continue? Please, I apologize, I'm driving.
Sure. Okay.
Thanks.
Take your time. So, Shaliwa, have you got any questions for Ndi Kato?
So I think we have, apart from the questions that we have arranged, can you hear me? Am I being heard?
Go ahead, please.
Hello?
We can hear
Am I
you.
being heard? Oh, okay. Thank you very much. It's a pleasure for us to have you here. And I'll just ask, like, what have you thought of the obedience movement so far? If you could summarize it in, a few words, how have you, from when, it all started to where you find yourself, from your point of view, where you find yourself now as a spokesperson, what would be your, main experience of the whole obedient movement? If you could summarize it in 3 words, what would be those 3 words?
3 words. Wow. I don't think 3 words is enough. I don't think 3 words are enough to summarize the obedient movement. But I think exciting is one. Or should I use the word tornado? I think a tornado is better than exciting. I think a tornado is better than exciting. If you notice, when a tornado moves, it grabs everything. I don't know if I should describe, the whirlwind. I don't think we have had tornadoes here, but at least we've had whirlwinds here. That thing that will be moving in circle, and just that wind that will just come to pack all the leather, pack everything, and just keep going. I think that is the best way to describe it, a whirlwind, or even larger, a tornado. I think, and would I use eagerness? I think there's a better word for that. But you know what? Let's leave it under that, because I remember in the North, something similar has happened. And that time they'll say the wind has come, and that wind packed everything. It packed the good, it packed the bad, it packed everything. I was just coming to it. I think for me, the one word I would go with would be a tornado. Something that just comes, and in its path, it grabs everything it sees as it is going and just keeps moving with it. So that's it for me. And in terms of describing, sorry, the other part of the question, but in terms of describing this movement from where it started and to this point, I remember a couple of months ago. So just a brief background, I used to be in the PDP in 2019. I campaigned for Atiku and Peter Obi, and to the point of even being one of the youths that represented the party in the youth debate for the presidential election. And was very vocal, used to represent the party in the media. But after the 2019 election, I left. I was still favorable towards PDP, but I wasn't in the party. And last year, I created a document for them on women and youth mobilization. They had reached out to me. A lot of young people even complained, I just left the party. Why her? But I think, of course, sometimes it is you that can do the job. That's important. So later, that basically brought me back from my work in the civic space to pay attention to politics, because for a while I'd just been in the civic space facing my job and not really paying attention to politics. So earlier this year, when Peter Obi started talking, I honestly didn't think it would end, like get to this point. When he started talking, I was excited. Now, my entire mind was that we're going to get a Southern president. Like, this is the turn of the South, like, you know. So I wasn't thinking it was going to go any other way. So my entire mind. So when I saw Peter Obi talking, I was like, great, you know, we're going to go with this. This is going to happen. And that time I would encourage on Twitter, like, yeah, see what this man is doing, all of that. And then it then looked like he wasn't going to get the ticket. And then he left. And that was when I got skeptical. I was like, wow, leaving to where? What is going to happen? He can't win under any other party now. Where is he going to get ticket that is going to mean anything? You know, we had attempted to do, people, not me, had attempted to do third force before, and third force didn't just click. So it was at that point I was like, where is he going to start from? I was so skeptical. And then you come online, and then you start seeing one or two young people. You know, at that time it looked like fun and games. You see somebody change his name to Peter Obi's bow tie, Peter Obi's eyeglasses, Peter Obi's shoe. You know, it started like that. And every day, like if he says A, they'll say, this A is fine. Like, even though they were praising the good things he was saying too. But you know, there was a way that it was so much fun and all of that. And even at that point, I was still skeptical. I was like, are these people, how many children are these? What is going to happen? Do they know how campaigns work? Do you know how difficult it is to penetrate the grassroots? But then I've not seen this kind of perseverance before. Because even now that I'm here, like, you have people really saying the meanest things when you don't even talk to them or anything, and you keep pushing. And to have young people who have not participated in politics before put their hand into this thing and to continue, regardless of all the meanness, the attacks, the everything, and to not let it weigh them down. I think that is such a great feat. I've not seen it done before. And at this point where we are at, again, I think when you start something, I think young people really need to pat themselves at the back to carry something so far to the point that adults, other people, and that's not to say the young people are not adults, but like way older adults who could not even speak before. Everybody's coming out of the woodwork. Everybody has seen that, oh, this thing that we did not know whether or not to, like, people who could do it are actually doing it. And now we can, the rest of us cowards, and I use that very judiciously, the rest of us cowards are saying, wow, this is doable. This, you know, these people mean business. And along the line, everybody has to have that conversation. I started having that conversation with myself, I think, in the month of the ending of June and beginning of July. I was like, it will be done, they enter my eye. You know, so many people have had to come to that point where they have that conversation with themselves, like, look, okay, we should do this. It is the right thing to do. And that has been a long journey. So this is my own personal journey, where you get to a point where it is the right thing to do. I remember a couple of weeks back, I was even supposed to, was it a couple of weeks? Yeah, last month, I was even supposed to introduce some people to like the PDP campaign and stuff. And just last minute, I said, no, this is not the way to go. This is not the way to go. Young people, let us all turn and face this side. This is the best campaign. This is where we can put in our effort and see results. This is where we will be able to do the work we want to do as young people and push as far as we want to go as young people with a candidate that we believe in, because this is not the one that you're trying to sell a candidate and you don't know what is happening. You're feeling, you know, you're not so sure. You don't know what your candidate is going to do tomorrow to embarrass you. You can see today it has been a windfall for the other candidates with embarrassment. So you don't know if that is going to happen. And so this is like, I won't say that Peter Obi is a finished product, but he is the best product at this point. It's only fair that you turn and put in your effort as much as you can to help this man make it to the presidency. And that's my journey to this point.
Wow, you really wowed me with your words there. You said a lot. You made a lot of powerful statements and very, very encouraging statements. For most of us who've been at the background, this is what we need to hear. Sometimes we really need to be encouraged. Then talking about that,
Thank you.
you see, if you've been familiar, surely I know you've been active. There has been an incendious rise in intimidation, in violence against obedience. A few weeks ago, a popular obedient flag boy was attacked somewhere in Lagos. A few months ago, a disabled obedient who was attacked by suspected thugs from suspected Tinubu thugs. So it is fast becoming a norm where obedients are becoming targets of physical and verbal attacks. I don't know. What do you think of such worrisome trend? I think
I think her network
yeah, her
should be
network.
breaking up, but I'm hoping she can join back as quickly as possible. Well, I guess we can still discuss on it. I guess until when she comes back. I don't know if there's um Dr. Anita. This is our Delta State coordinator. Do you want to speak on your experience in terms of security as you have
Right
been
here.
going on?
Can you hear me?
Yes, we
Yes, we
can.
can.
Oh, good evening, everybody. How we doing?
We're fine. Good evening,
Um,
doctor.
yeah, good evening, our wonderful Airtel veteran, Shaniwa, and everybody in the Mr. Moye, everybody in the space. Thank you so much for putting to speak. I was just engrossed with what Ndi Kato was talking about, and that really explains what's been going on. She said it was like it's like a whirlwind. Initially many people didn't believe, many people didn't understand what was going on. Many people didn't even. People kept saying, "Will he win? Will he allow him?" You know. But right now, it's so obvious that Peter Obi is a candidate to beat. You know, he's a candidate to beat. So in the counter will be back on. Okay, I'm just trying to get to her so that she can be back on in the space. I think she thought the space went off. I don't know what happened to the network, but it's going to be back on. So, but we are doing a lot in Super Volunteers. Super Volunteers is a very exciting, really exciting group of people support group. We're all over the country, in every state, local government, and we're doing a lot. We've been involved in the matches that have been going on. We work with our own personal work in our different local government, market sensitization, voter education, real grassroots mobilization. We have some of our guys who are so excited and so full of enthusiasm for the work. And not just talking online, not just busy online, but actually doing the physical work. I have this new guy in one of my groups now. What he does every day is to send a voice note every day telling you what to do on election day. Don't run away. Oh, don't when anybody attacks you, don't talk alone. Just go and join somebody else. And if you see somebody being attacked or being talked to on the election day, come together to defend that person, not in physical fight, but in words. When you are many, nothing can be done to you. They fear the people. Nobody can stand with against the people. So there's so much we're doing as in voter education. One of the marketplaces, like I said in the last place we had, will do physical teaching of people how to vote, how to put their thumb into their votes and not invalidated. One of our main thing we're doing is not to chase other people who are talking about Peter Obi. You may love Peter Obi, you may be excited about him, you may understand what the whole thing is all about, but you don't have a PVC. So what we know is that people that have the PVC are the people that have electoral value. The ones going to be determine who's going to be president next come February and May 2023. Not just people who like Peter Obi, not just those who want to speak, who want to talk. So super volunteers are those people who actually have a voter's card and those who are mobilizing all those who have voters card. We have sorry guys, the children are calling. Sorry, but the people who are ready to mobilize those who have PVCs. That's what we're looking at. If you don't have a PVC at this point in time, I'm sure you should be really be ashamed of yourself. Whatever was the reason, there was enough time, was enough. I mean, ever before now. Then of course this new registration. So many people have gone out of their way. There's a lady in Delta State. We call her Mommy Purity. She has the cheerleading baby of the baby super volunteers. As I would call her baby. She came out with her child on her back every day until she got her PVC, until she registered and got her PVC. So these some people are ready to change the nation. Super volunteers are ready to change the nation, ready to change the narrative, and not just talking, not just going about their own business, but they're doing the physical work on ground. In Lagos, some great things are happening. Port Harcourt, great things are happening. We're planning medical outreach with Docs for Peter Obi, right now. And so in so many places, so many ideas are coming up, so many strategies are coming up, and we're doing those things on the ground. So I really want to say thumbs up to every single super volunteer in here. Thumbs up to all our leaders, all our coordinators. Thumbs up to our national coordinator, our convener, Mr. Maurice Moye. Thumbs up to everyone who supports this movement. And of course, guys, we have so much to do. So we need people to contribute and donate. We'll talk about that more on this space. Our super volunteer page, we have our account number there. So please let us start immediately. Whatever you can add, whatever you can give. Your 1,000 is important. Your 10,000, 100,000, 1 million. 10 million, as much as you can do. I like calling the big figures because I have to stretch my faith and stretch our faith. So I will just stop here. Let me not talk too long. I don't know if Ndi Kato is back. Let me try and reach out to her if she's back. But really, there's so much we're doing. And please, donation is very important. We're going to talk about money because we have so much projects to do. And when we do this when we want to do projects, money is so important. Funding is so important. There's so much we can do. Because with the other, we went to the market to go share aprons and flyers and teach the women how to thumbprint, the market people. It was so, I was moved to tears. Everybody wanted to get associated with Peter Obi. They wanted an apron, they wanted a T-shirt, they want to say, we are obedient, so give us now. We didn't have enough. I was like, oh God, I wish we had enough. So there's so much we can do in our society today to get more people to come on this movement. So we need to really, really put in our funds. Those who want to donate. And then just let the space go on. We'll talk about that as the space goes on. Thank you so much, Shaliwa and Etebet and Mr. Mori and everybody here. Thank you. Let me not hold on to the mic for too long. Thank you. I use my mic.
Wow. Dr. Anita, the excitement in your voice, the excitement, it's really positive. It's lovely. We all hope for a better Nigeria. In Nigeria where things will be better, and we all hope, and we all fight, we all strive. We hope to see that day. We hope to see Peter Obi emerge as President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria come the 29th of May, 2023. As Dr. Anita has said, we have a lot of projects. We have a lot to do. So there are details on our bio. Details, of course. You can check our bio. You can donate, whatever it is. We have a lot of projects to do, and then we hope that with your support, we will do our bit, and our bit wouldn't be small, it will be a huge one in bringing back, or rather, bringing to reality the obedient dream. So our guest speaker is back. I don't know if she's ready.
Yes,
Erica Fanchan, are you set?
Yes, I am, please.
Oh, welcome back once more. Sorry,
Can you hear
I
me?
guess it was network. Yes,
I
can hear you.
Welcome back.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Okay.
We can hear you.
Okay.
Loud and clear.
So
okay.
before you went off, I was talking about the rise, the astronomical rise in attacks on obedience, physical attacks, verbal attacks, online, offline. We're becoming the trend is becoming worrisome, and it's quite alarming to come or to be the subject of such attacks when they say we have no structure. But what do you think about the negative trend anyway?
I think I would say it really makes me, experiencing it firsthand makes me really feel for the young people who have been at this for a long time. I think I was just announced on Thursday, and I think prior to that, I think it's just a week before that I made it very clear that I was on this, a week or two, that I was on this side of the campaign. And since then, I've been subject to vicious attacks. And we should also keep in mind that in a society, people are multifaceted. So just because I'm in this position or I've done other great things with my life does not mean that I may not live with conditions that are, detrimental. My mental health is very shaky. My mental health is very shaky. Sometimes I have serious anxiety attacks. I need to take medication daily so that anxiety will not get the height of me. Sometimes I can just be sitting and my mind starts beating just on its own. And sometimes depression can be a thing. And so since I decided I was going to support Peter Obi, to just see people come vicious, you have not attacked their candidates. You've not said anything at all. All I've said is I support Obi, and it has been so bad. And it's like, is this what other people are going through? But then this is just me just getting verbal attacks and phone calls from people doing, oh, so you thought that you think you can just leave us, you think you can just go and support, or you just see anonymous handles posting all sorts of cruel things. You wonder, election is not war now. We're not fighting. You're trying to tell people like, no, we're just saying that this man is a good candidate and you should vote for him. We've not cut your hand and forced you to press. What exactly is happening? But for even me, this is just again online attacks. There are people, look at Flag Boy and how he was beaten. Look at people who have faced attacks, have their cars destroyed. This is not a joke. This is not a joke. It obviously feels like NSAS again, where you're just protesting peacefully and people are sent to disrupt the protest, to harm you and possibly kill you. That is what it feels like. And to be honest, when you see these in campaigns, people don't have any other thing to offer. If you have something to offer and you could market your candidate, you will not be attacking other people. So right now, for people on one hand to claim that, oh, this movement is not going anywhere. If it's not going anywhere, why are you attacking? It's from a place of fear you attack. It's from a place of uncertainty from your candidate that you attack another person. It is when you think that another group is doing much better than you are doing, that they have a chance, and you are in public, you're saying, no, they don't stand any chance. If they don't stand any chance and they are wasting their time, why won't you just let them waste their time? So it does not tally. On one hand, you're saying we don't stand the chance, and on the other hand, you're attacking. Something is off. Something does not make sense, and it shouldn't be so. And I think that we need to keep speaking up about this. We need to make this a forefront issue in elections. At the same time, they will say, oh, obedience are this, they're that. But just from experience, you know why people have had to become so defensive in this election. These elections have been unfair. The attacks on young people have been unfair. The attacks on people who say support Peter Obi have been unfair. And these attacks seem to be one-sided. We've not caught obedience trying to disrupt elections. Yet we've seen other people trying to disrupt elections. We've seen other people trying to do. Somebody was caught with voters card. Was it today or yesterday? We've seen candidates go out and say bigoted statements. Vote for me because you are from the same region. 2 candidates have done that now. One just did it today. Obedience are not doing the same thing. But they're coming under attacks, and it's so unfair. And I hope that this stops. But it's not enough for me to hope. It is that every opportunity we get, we must speak up against this. And even as I'm speaking now, I'm remembering that, you know what, the next opportunity I get on TV to talk about this, to talk about anything, I will bring this to the forefront. It is dangerous. For young people, many young people, this is their first time participating in elections, and we cannot say that we want to move Nigeria forward and continue to behave like.
Thank you very much, Ma. Thank you very much for that answer. It is indeed almost reminiscent of that time, and it's just not fair. So next I'd like to ask, based on everything that's happening around, the candidate Peter Obi, that is things happening in Labour Party, things happening out there with the support groups, people saying all sorts, online campaign, all of that. What are, from your perspective, what are the chances of Peter Obi becoming president come 2023?
The chances are very high. This is one of the things I would like to point to Donald Trump's, is it 2016, right? 2016 campaign strategy. Donald Trump knew where his votes were going to come from, and he went in there and collected them. That was it. He knew the strong places. This place, I will get votes here. This place, I will get votes here. And he targeted those places religiously. And so Peter Obi's campaign stands a chance in very key places. And if those places are targeted, really, like this eagle eye targeting, you will wipe votes clean in those areas. Recently, I heard of one of the candidates was about to go, like they were putting pressure on him to go and campaign somewhere around, somewhere in the north that they don't usually go to campaign in. And they're putting one of the candidates to go and campaign there. And I was like, these people are beginning to understand. Because typically when they go to that state to go and campaign, I don't want to mention the place, even though I know the place. People from where I'm from will know the place I'm talking about. But I don't want to mention it because you don't talk about you don't talk about every strategy or every secret out there so that they don't catch on to it. And they don't usually go to that place to campaign. But now they know that is the main place that used to give them votes, and they're looking for how to go there and go to campaign because they know. They know. So other people will not catch on to this, and we will not catch on to it yet. There are key places that Peter Obi is going to get votes from. And if we target those places, put all our energy in those places. I'm not saying don't put energy in other places, but you know your strategic points, you know your strongest points. Enter there, carry what you have to get, and come out. And so if we focus like that, the chances are very high. Today I was in a strategy meeting, a campaign strategy meeting, and I got several calls. It was so funny that these calls were all coming today, and about 3 calls from my village. And one young man from my village called to say this person used to be a PDP youth leader. He was like, that in fact they're so proud of me, the representation, to just know that one of us is out there, that they're just so super proud. They're just going around telling everybody. But when Kina finished, now say, that at home now this thing has caught like wildfire. I was like, in Kafanchan. Then he was like, yes. So then I got another call from someone. This one is still in the PDP, and this is how he explained it. He said, that the obedience movement is like jazz. It's like, I don't know, it's in English, this is the best translation. And the obedience movement in Kafanchan now is like jazz. Everybody is doing obedience. They don't want to hear any other thing again. Everybody is doing obedience. I was so happy. As I asked him that he's like, that's them, they sowed their roots, and that is where some people are having problems to change. They sowed their deep roots in PDP, so they don't know what to do. But everybody, like what is happening at home, don't even know how to start campaigning because there has been a seismic shift. So the chances are great. We are making headway, but we cannot go and rest. 5 months, or is this 6? This should be 5 months now. 5 months is a long time, and so much more can be achieved in 5 months. So we need to continue with our narrative. We need to organize better. We need to look at places where we are lagging in support groups, or we're lagging in grassroots mobilization, and we need to look at proper strategies around grassroots mobilization. For me, what I've always said is I treat elections like evangelism. I feel that your campaigning is your preaching. Go out and preach to people one by one, door to door. Make sure that they are getting your message and have a compelling message. And the good thing about this election for Peter Obi and for Obedience is that we have a compelling candidate and a compelling message. He's not a tough sell. Peter Obi is so easy to sell. Like, when I have to go on TV for Peter Obi, it's like the easiest thing. Like, whoops, let me just stroll in here and do a happy thing because I don't have to stutter. Peter Obi has done 90% of my work for me when I go on TV. The other part of the work is just 10% I'm doing. Now, if it was another candidate, then the candidate will have done 10%, then I would have to do 90%. But it's an easy candidate to sell, an easy candidate to market, and his message is compelling, and the time is now. So we do stand a very great chance. Thank you.
Wow. Yes, that's actually great. Then talking about, when you initially started speaking, you spoke about the diversity of the North.
Yes, please.
Ordinarily, people actually think the North is just a monolith.
Yes.
They just think it's a homogeneous region. Yes. Thank you for clarifying that. But then I have a question. You understand that the politics in the North is dynamic and different from politics in the South entirely. Yes. So how do we intend to take advantage of the North's diversity, its dynamic politics? How do we make that an advantage for Obi? How do we canvass votes? How do we harvest Northern votes for Peter Obi and Yusuf Datti?
So one area that we need to really sit up in is the Northern media engagement, right? You see, radio, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay. You see radio engagements, all those radio talk shows. We need to sit down, look at Northerners who are very fluent in Hausa, who can explain these things very well, and send these people to these radio shows, to these television shows to explain. And we must map out carefully. We can't run elections. See, what we are doing is very different from what traditional political parties are doing. So we must treat it as so. We must sit down, map out what are the radio stations in all of these places, what are the major radio stations, even the minor radio stations, who are we sending there, and ensure that we populate this space till people cannot hear any other thing without hearing about us. Then there are jingles. These jingles must go out, and then we must now look at community gatekeepers. Community gatekeepers are pastors, imams, chiefs. Make sure we reach out to these groups very well. The other part about it is, and I've seen some people doing it already, is outreach. Fix a pump here, do this here, do that there, while preaching to the people, right? I remember the last local government election in my area. These people were campaigning. The incumbent chairman, he was campaigning. I remember when El-Rufai Speaker came to laugh at me that APC won in my local government area. I said, this man thinks that I'm upset. I'm not upset though. Now candidates will follow, and this candidate try. That is why I didn't even put in my efforts in the campaign that time. Why? The APC candidates went to some of the wards. There's one particular ward that has not had light for how many years? Their transformer don't spoil. We went and replaced the transformer. That's all. Though. It's simple and short for us. We're not we're not wealthy people. It's not such a complicated matter. He went and replaced the transformer, and that was it. So if we look at community outreach, health outreach, while we preach this to people, that really works. So I've talked about media engagement, getting many more voices. I know the Super Volunteer Group is doing a lot by getting street mobilizers and canvassers. But please, can you look, if you have Northerners amongst you, look at those who are fluent and who can really explain issues. My Hausa is not so good, so I'm not among. Look for those who are fluent in Hausa and can really explain issues, and send them around radio and TV stations so that they can explain this to people. Then we must make sure that we use the avenues of community gatekeepers. Pastors are very important. If these people have bought into the campaign, then you like the way Catholic priests have bought into it so much. So you know that so much of your work has been done for you already if you have these people on your side. Again, we need to get more Northerners. That is very important. And then we need to recognize those who are trying and elevate them, right? I just spoke to an old schoolmate from Unijust reached out to me, and a course mate from Unijust reached out to me. And I didn't even know he was doing that work. I was like, he's in Plateau State, so they are doing so much. And I just told him, I was like, you know what? Send me your Twitter handle. Let us connect. If there's any way I can amplify the work you are doing, please let me know. So what we should now do, let us look for as many as possible. Look for as many Northern Point guards as possible and make them as popular as possible, and the work they are doing as popular as possible. We must amplify. Let us not keep preaching to the church. And that's not saying that the South is and the South is not. We don't need extra campaigning. They do, but we should amplify these voices. Amplify every single work they are doing. It is important. Also, I think that creating activities for mobilizers. So instead of just meeting and going like, what are we doing today? What are we doing tomorrow? Every week there has to be something keeping people busy, something making people interact with the Peter Obi brand. So is it a football match? Let there be football match. If it's in Kafanchan, do a Peter Obi football match between two groups. The winner gets 10,000. That's big money where I come from, or big money like this. In this time, so we can do things like that. Do different things. Reach out to these areas. Another thing is, let's map out the local governments one by one. Let's map out all the local governments in the north and see and make sure that we have people in all of these local governments. There has to be people in all of these places. If we map out this local government, we can then start mapping out wards. And when we're mapping our wards, that's when we know, okay, this is as far down as the grassroots as we can go. So I hope with some of this, and then with the North not being the monolith, there are millions and millions of people in the north that are not Hausa, and millions of people in the north who, of course, are not Muslims. We do want everybody's votes, of course, but we are talking about the north not being a monolith and where votes usually come from. Typically for the PDP, it's from this area that PDP used to get their votes before. Of course, now it is shaky. So places like Southern Kaduna, Plateau, Benue, Nasarawa, Southern Borno, parts of Gombe, parts of Bauchi. There are so many places like that where votes come out from. So we must be serious in these places and know that, look, we can get millions of votes from these areas and no need to joke with these places at all. The people who come from, the leaders who come from, the typical political leaders who come from here are feeling the heat now because it looks like, yes, people are turning, but we have not done enough. We need to target these places well, map out these areas very well, and make sure that if you want to vote for another party in these areas, you'll be feeling guilty. If people ask you, you even have to lie that you are voting for LP instead, because you cannot open your mouth and tell them that you are doing a different thing. That is how far we have to go. So looking forward to these strategies being carried out, and yeah. That is my response. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Ma. You can see and hear that passion for, for the North and, the environs. Now we're going to take questions from the House, and we have one hand up. So that's Direct G. Please just go straight to the question that you would like Ndi Kato to answer, and you can unmute your mic.
Yes, thank you for the opportunity to speak. Good evening, everybody. I hope I am audible. Please confirm that for me.
Yes, you can hear you.
All right, thank you. First of all, I want to say thank you so much, Ndi Kato, for what you are doing. I so much appreciate how, clearly and passionately you express your thoughts. It's very, very convincing. As in, anybody that listens to you and how you defend the Labour Party and our presidential candidate and still is not convinced, the guilty conscience self go dey prick them. That's the anytime I hear you speak, I'm so filled with pride, for the movement that we are all a part of. So thank you so much for all you are doing. My first question, I have multiple questions. My first question is, and I don't know whether you are privy to this, so this question is to both you and Maurice Monye, which is how far is the synergy? We know that we knew that some time ago there was a problem with the synergy between the movement, the support groups, and the Labour Party. So how far is that synergy? Has the space been bridged? Is communication now better between the movement and the party so that we are all, moving in the same direction, working up the same strategies at the same time? Like how you are here now telling us about what to do, where we should hit. Are the other support groups getting this same information at the same time so that we're moving together? My second question is, I'll call it a behind the scene question, is are there other members or former members or present members of the PDP that are somehow still working for the obedient movement? Because we have heard, or I personally have encountered a lot of people that are still, under PDP, APC, but they are wise enough to know that Obi is their best candidate, is the best choice that we have now, as in among all the, candidates that we have out there, but they are still not ready to, leave the party until they collect their final share of this corrupt money that they are dishing out for people to campaign for them. I want to know that you, who has been a very, very active member of the PDP and their publicity team, do you have, are there other people, who are like that 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 still support Peter Obi, but they are still under the PDP or other parties? Those are my two questions for now. The other question was going to be about the attacks on obedience, and you've already said that you're going to put that as one of your talking
sorry.
points.
It logged me out. Can you repeat
when next you
your
are on
question?
air? Also, I don't mean to teach you your job, but I think that we as obedience, one of the things that we should preach out there, and it should be one of our major talking points, is vote buying. And I think we should continue to let people understand that even the people that sold their votes in the last elections and in the last two elections, they are not better off. They don't have better healthcare. They don't have better education. I think that should be our major talking point, especially when we get to the grassroots, because vote buying is one of the major, tools that the opposition are planning to use. It is their major tool, vote buying. And so it should be our major talking point in every opportunity that we have to interact with, Nigerians. Thank you very much. Thank you, humanity.
Thank you, that director. Before Ndi Kato responds to you, please, I would like us to be succinct and concise with our questions. We've got a lot of people who want to ask questions, and yes, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Can you hear me?
Yes, please.
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, please, can he repeat his questions? Because at the time he was asking, it went off for me. Please just quickly repeat them. So sorry.
That director, I think he's having network issues. I don't know.
Okay, you can help me.
That director, I think he just left.
Let me come in. I dropped him as the speaker,
okay,
so that other people will be able to request.
Okay.
He asked two questions. He actually requested that both you and Mr. Morris give your response. So he asked two questions. One, that how is the synergy at this stage between the volunteer groups and Labour Party? Being that there was a period when it wasn't as there were complaints from both ends. So at this stage, are we at the volunteer groups all moving as one, or this information that how he exactly put it was that this information that we are getting from you, is this going to all the volunteer groups? Are we, are the volunteer groups and the Labour Party, moving together as one? And the second question, if I'm correct, was about, okay, are there other, he said it was a background or back end question, that are there other PDP members that are in their own corner, obedient? I think that's the best way to put it, that, are there other PDP members or PDP people that are obedient, maybe they are silent obedience, or I think these were the two questions that he asked.
Okay, so let me start with the support groups. Yesterday, 14th October, there was I think an official inauguration of support groups at Barcelona Hotel in Abuja here. Many people came down, flew in, drove down to wait for it to happen. And the chairman of the party assured the support groups were all on one page. The party, the support groups, they see what they're doing, and even admitted that this election is carried by the support groups. So the support groups are very important. The party has fully embraced the support groups, and everybody has been registered with the party and everything. The party recognizes, and support groups are moving as one. So I think the strategy team is going to bring forward strategies on how to coordinate fully with support groups, and I think that is in the works. But yesterday there was an official inauguration. Don't worry, even if you were not there, you are still accounted for. You're still accounted for. All support groups are important, and I'm sure Barcelona Hotel will not be able to contain everybody, but that's held yesterday. With respect to silent PDP members, I think many people fight a very serious battle with themselves. I fought, even I that has led party since 2019, I'm only pro PDP, I was not in the party. I fought a serious battle with myself. I knew how hard it was. So for those who have sunk their everything, like Anani go be next House of Reps member if I stay, it's such a difficult situation for them. But they are hoping that, okay, if they are able to just manage it, then For some people, if I'm able to manage it, let me manage and get my votes, but I will support, get votes for what I'm running for, but I'll support this end. Many also can't believe that the political structure or the political system they have belonged to for so long is, is at risk. So it's a difficult thing for them. Like, if I leave, will I have the same standing here? Or if you even notice the language of some of them, you can see that they don't even want to upset the balance, don't want to say something that is going to cause anything. So silently, I remember the first time, and it took some convincing for me. I think people don't seem to understand on social media that the process of getting people to join, like some people, like if you have specific talents. I was approached about 3 times. I remember the first time, the second time, as in one day, please, okay, just come on TV. I was like, look, I still have to keep my job. I don't know if I want to do this and everything. And then I would say even the third time so was when I finally agreed to go for a meeting. And I remember going for that meeting in a hotel in Abuja with the other media team members. This was last month. The other media team members of the Labour Party, and getting to that meeting, and I just saw some PDP guys, like some major PDP people in the media team of PDP, like they were there. People that now I was taken aback. People that worked with publicity secretaries or worked with, like, have kept the media going in the PDP. I saw them there, and I was like, wow, okay, like this is serious. So for that, there are people, and there are people who have left. There are people who are doing, I'm in PDP, but this is what I'm doing this time around. So there are many, many, many supporters within the PDP. That is very sure.
Okay, thank you very much, Ma. Thank you very much for your response. We'll take one more person. Munachi, your hand is up. We'll take please go. You can unmute your mic and ask your questions.
Okay. Good evening. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Hello?
Yes, you're being heard.
Okay. I wanted to ask, I don't know whether I'm asking the right person or the right question, but issues around returning agents, like party agents for the polling units. I know that there are strategies towards that. One will be, do we make our agents known so early before the election? What if they are bought over by the opposition? Because definitely, those people are very, very important. So I don't know at what time would Labour Party, knowing that they are a very new party, the other parties, APC and PDP, wouldn't have an issue getting party agents for polling booths because they have had such people over and over and over. I mean, in the last 2 election regimes, they have had somebody there. So it will be easy to either use the same person, because now there will be issue of trust, maybe the person has earned their trust, or get someone new. Ours would be, who are we going to use that we can really trust that this person is really with us, to get more than 2 people or 3 people for each polling booth, so that if one so that before the polling booth, we know who we are going to use as the main person for the party in that booth. When is that kind of discussion going to start happening within the Labour Party? Because it is very important. And again, it is also within that search that one would know don't we have anybody at all, which polling units, because now we have to put all the local governments together, and then within the local governments we put all the wards. Within the wards we have we have to have local government Labour Party chairman, the Labour Party ward chairman. Do we have ward chairman in all the wards in the country, so that we know where I don't know whether we are able as Labour Party to have all of this due to how long Labour Party have existed as a national party. So I don't know. That's my question. Personally, I'm just worried about that, because that is where the election.
I can only answer parts of it.
Okay, thank you. Sorry.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can. I don't know about the
Yeah,
other
you
side.
can hear you.
Please go ahead. Please go. I can hear you.
Okay. So I was saying that again. I don't know if I'm fair. I'll just keep speaking. I was saying that please raise your hand if you can hear me because I can't see my speaker thing showing signs of me speaking. Okay, okay. So I was saying thank you. Don't put the thumbs down. Anyway, so there are parts of this that I can answer, and it is that with respect to polling agents, you can't expose your polling agents now at all, at all, at all. I'll tell you, with respect to this election, in this Abuja, I know many people and many young people. I know people in this Abuja, and so among the many people that I know are young people that I've seen Tinubu physically try to buy, like the Tinubu campaign, and I know how much they are spending. They are leaving no stone unturned. Like if it is money, if money can do something, Tinubu is willing to use money to do that thing. Like that one is sure. So this is a major issue this election, and we can't joke with it. We can't bring out our polling agents yet. But I also say this, and so that because this is learning experience, this is us working and learning as we go. We need more polling agents. We need to get more. Yes, not every party has gotten all their polling agents yet, so we need to be sure of that, and we need to take that seriously. So we're not the only ones who have not gotten all polling agents for all polling units. This is not exactly around the time they start talking about this. It's much later in the campaign. But rightfully, as you pointed, one thing is clear that we need to ensure that at this point that conversation begins, especially at every local government level, at every ward level, so that when we get to that point, we are not lost. So this is a very important point. The other parts I can't really respond. That is a very, very good question for the Labour Party chairman. I can't answer some of these questions because that is it's way above my grade. Better way to put it. So that is for the Labour Party chairman to respond to.
Hello, Chalo, are you there?
I think Elizabeth's network. Okay. We wanted to just announce actually, we just got while we were in the meeting, we got a contribution. So thank you very much to the person that made the donation. So at this stage, we still have just a few questions to ask you, Ma, and we'll let you go. So next is, what do you think of the constant scrutiny of PO by obedience?
Okay, so on one hand, it's always good to hold your candidates what's the name accountable. Very, very good to hold your candidates accountable. You should it's good for your candidate to answer to the people and all of that. On the other hand, it's campaign season. So while what there are certain things that already based on, and let's be very honest, I would liken this to the Barack Obama situation. Based on where Peter Obi comes from, he already gets more scrutinized than anybody. If he coughs the wrong way, if it was Peter Obi that said the statement that was said today, the kind of comments you would hear. In fact, some people will have started bringing the issue of war already. If it was Peter Obi that said. So this man is working on thin ice. He has to say all the right things all the time, has to behave the right way all the time, has to be on point 26 hours of a 24-hour day. That is how it is. So on this end, while I understand, and I don't want to be taken out of context here, so I'm going to count my words carefully. While I understand and I advocate for accountability, holding a candidate accountable, making sure that the candidate is accountable to us, we must also recognize that it's campaign season. And we have to look at the antecedents, right? I hope that's the right word, and my English is not messy right now. But we have to look at how a candidate has behaved in the past. Is this man accountable? Yes, he is. So if he's already shown accountability, if he has already shown us that, look, we are people, you can jack my shirts. I'm going to answer all your questions. I've answered all your questions. There's no need for us to keep jacking the shirts. There's no point. What we are doing is making this person less sellable and making him go over and over and over the same things over and over and over again. And I don't think that is right. We must recognize there's a time for a luta. Now we do pass, and there's a time for a certain goal. So I do understand, and this is me. I've scrutinized his flyer before. Like, who spelled this flyer? But at the end of the day, let's be serious. Is that necessary right now? What is the goal? The goal is, it has been established beyond reasonable doubt that this is the best candidate in this election season. In fact, I don't want to throw out what's the name? Figures from nowhere, but the truth is, beyond reasonable doubt, this person is better than the other candidates. We're not even having conversations on the same level with the other candidates. So why are we doing this? Like, it's almost, who is he competing against that is on that level that we need to keep scrutinizing for him to prove to us that he's better than the person? Nobody. He is miles ahead of the other candidates. In every aspect, he's miles ahead of the other candidates. So if we keep scrutinizing, like, it's almost like, okay, we're looking, like, you have gone so far, let's look for how we'll bring you down to the level of these other candidates. I think that's what it's beginning to look like at this point. I think we should take it easy. But at the same time, I think that we shouldn't attack people who just, I know we mean well and all of that, but we shouldn't just attack people within the movement when it looks like, if somebody just looks like they say something a little off, hey, we have started the person's shirt. I think we should have understanding for everybody. Or even as you're having understanding for everybody, the person who needs our understanding the most and our cooperation the most at this time is Peter Obi. He needs that, and he doesn't need us to keep returning him to places that he have answered questions before, to things that he has answered questions before, to prove that he's better than people who he's already better than, and has proven beyond reasonable doubt that he's the better candidate in this election. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Ma. Thank you for your response. You're quite correct. If you put him beside, all the others, it really is not, if you're criticizing him based on how you're viewing the others, it really is not a proper standard. The next question that was submitted is, what is the role of women in what role can the women women play in Peter Obi's government once elected? I don't want to put if elected, once elected.
So I think even with the way the campaign is going, I don't think people have seen in campaigns two female spokespersons in any campaign before. In this Nigeria, it's not possible. I have not seen it. This is a campaign that is putting women front and center, from the youth mobilizers to people in the campaign, the campaign council and all of that. We have women are being very active, women are seen and heard, and this is foreshadowing, this is like putting forward what is going to happen when he gets into government. So I don't think, I do not believe that Peter Obi is not going to take women seriously. This is a man that has looked at who is able to get the job done. If the person is able to get the job done, he puts the person forward. That is why I'm here. He does not check, oh, do you like me? Do you not like me? Are you my best friend? Were you my best friend 10 years ago? Are you the finest person in the room? Are you related to my sister or my wife? None of those things. What Peter Obi goes for is, can you get the job done? Okay, come, let us reason together and see how we can get the job done. Let me do my part, let you do your part. And when you have somebody who behaves like that, it means that no gender will be left behind. So women are sure and covered in Peter Obi's government.
Hello, thank you very much. Thank you very much, Ma, for your response. I thought I saw a hand up, or I think it's been taken down. Mazitolo, was your hand still up? Okay. So I'll just take your question, and then Royal, and then we'll let you know about the things we've been doing and what Super Volunteers has been at least putting forward towards the obedient movement. Mazitolu, you can unmute your mic. Please make it quick.
All right. Good evening, everyone from everywhere. Good evening, good afternoon, good morning from everywhere you're speaking from. First of all, I want to quickly make a point about obedience, criticizing Peter Obi and the likes. For my own point is regarding to someone that was supposed to be on the presidential campaign council, who is
Sorry, we
also
can't
coming
hear
out
you.
to. Can you hear me now? Hello?
I can hear, I don't know, but others.
Can I go on?
I can hear you. Carry on.
Oh, okay, thank you. So I was kind of contributing to what was said about obedience, criticizing Obi and Hall. I say it's fine for everybody to criticize Obi. We are not docile followers. We are not not sheeps, and everyone can criticize and ask questions, or maybe even random people, but not someone who is supposed to be on the campaign council coming out on Twitter also asking questions like a random citizen or someone that doesn't know anything about Peter Obi. I find out kind of embarrassing and kind of demeaning to our position as a member of the council. So I don't know how something like that can be resolved so that it doesn't happen again. Because someone cannot be on the campaign council and is coming out and outing our principal as if she doesn't know what she's on the council to do. So it really doesn't make sense. That aside, I also want to talk about the movement in the Southwest, because we know that the North needs Peter Obi's imprint more and need to see him more. But even in the Southwest, we still have people that have not been reached enough, people that are still voting, that still want to vote along the tribal lines. How can we reach them? And also in Lagos, especially in the Lagos elections, and I don't know what Labour parties. I just want to say it as a suggestion, because I really wish, I really think they also have an idea of what election is like in Lagos, where some areas where it deems that as strongholds of opposition parties, there is voter suppression, intimidation, and thuggery takes place in those kind of places. Like the last election, some places in Amugodofin, Festac, where they see like maybe there are some particular people that won't vote for APC. There is ballot snatching and ballot box snatching and all. Like I want Labour Party to kind of provide some sort of security, extra security for those areas, so that people can be encouraged to come out and vote on that day, and people don't get scared because of their past experiences in such areas, in Lagos especially. Thank you. I yield my mic.
Okay. Dr. Anita, do you want to give your submission as well, and then we'll hear from Ndi Kato finally?
Okay, thank you so much. Thank you, Ndi Kato. Thank you so much for all you've been saying. Like the other speaker said, you talk about this movement with so much clarity, with so much passion. I just want to say a very big thank you to you, Ndi Kato. This is Dr. Anita speaking. I want to say a very big thank you to you for stepping into this race, into this movement. The people of your state and your caliber, based on what you've done previously, you may want to just stay where you were, and because of the backlash and the criticism, but you chose to step in and to help out the movement. And thankfully, here you are, the spokesperson. You've been very vocal on TV. I want to just say a very big thank you to you, Ndi Kato. Thank you for even coming to this space in the first place. And I want to just let you know, I want to let you know that Super Volunteer Movement, we love you so much. And please help amplify our work. When you see our posts, help us tweet about it. You know that
I surely will.
you're a very influential person now. So help us, amplify what we do, and just help us do, just keep it up like that. Thank you so much. And I want to just say finally before you go that we may call you. I don't know the space. The host will talk about it, but we may call you back next time. I hope you oblige. Thank you so much. Over to you. Yeah, let me let you speak so that I don't keep you. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, Dr. Anita. Um, just in light with what speaking about the volunteer accounts, we got two donations. We got one of 2,000 and one of 5,000. Thank you so much to everyone. And that's just to show that your little goes a long way. I think I'm sure we have some of our coordinators in house, and I'd like us to request the space to speak and share on the things that we have done. But the point I was trying to raise is that even the coordinators in house know how little, how far rather a little can go. So you might think that, oh, you're not dropping maybe I'll be the other end of the spectrum to Dr. Anita, that you might think that I don't have 500,000, I don't have 200,000, but you'll be surprised how much 1,000 naira from 5 people will be able to achieve. I mean, even like I said, we had our meeting in Lagos today, and coordinators are just talking about how, the little that we have, goes so far. So really, thank you so much to everyone that have donated the 2,000 and 5,000. If you don't send less than that, it's fine. Send more than that. We thank you. We love you. Thank you very much. So we'll be taking. Um I have a few hands up. Um, so we'll be taking some of those. Doctor, your hand is still up. Do you want to share at least your experience in as super volunteers, what you've been doing as super volunteers, what you've been up to, and what you have achieved? But you would be in the queue. So I have Baba Charlie. Your hand is up. I have Gregory. So after Baba Charlie, Gregory will go next, and then Cliff. So once you have given your submission, I'll drop you as a speaker. And then so that I can make space for others. If you wish to speak, just raise your hand. So Baba Charlie, Gregory, and then Cliff. Baba Charlie, please, you can unmute your mic.
Hello, good evening, everyone. And thank you very much to Maurice and the organizers for bringing spokesperson to our incoming president, the person of Ndi Kato. I am one of those who didn't actually know about Ndi Kato until the presidential campaign list came out. And when that list came out, I Googled every single person on the spokesperson's part of it. Of course, I knew Kenneth Okonkwo and Dele Farotime, but Ndi Kato and Umar, I don't know, Umar Efiok or something, was new to me. So I was so impressed by Ndi Kato's profile. I actually messaged you inbox on Twitter after I saw your profile, and I watched almost all your videos on YouTube. Particularly impressed by the devaluation of the Nigerian person or something like that. And then there's the one about Ghana elections. This is fantastic and top notch. And of course, I've seen the one on Arise TV and AIT after the nomination, after the PCC. Awesome. I'm so excited to have someone like you speaking for Peter Obi. This is exactly what we want and where we want to be. I'm going to ask a question about what we are doing in preparation for these elections at the grassroots, at the polling unit level, organizing around polling units. I know you answered the question that is similar before now. Someone tried to know if we have agents or if we are trying to get agents. Now, in Rivers State, we know that Nyesom Wike has appointed 50,000 polling unit advisors. And at the rate of about 11 people per polling unit. This is 5 months to election, and he has done that, which is crazy. We know there's corruption, you're going to use public funds to do that. We know it's all wrong, but that paints the picture of what we are up against, and we only have 5 months to go. One thing that I know we do have right now is a lot of obedience everywhere. I'm very confident that we are more than them. But the question is, how are we organizing ourselves at polling units, around polling units, knowing that they are going to try to use voter suppression and all kinds of tactics to even prevent us from coming out? So we need to do a lot of preparation ahead of time. I believe we need to be able to even do some kind of rehearsals before the elections. We need people to know themselves. Voters around the same polling unit, people who are voting the same polling unit for Peter Obi should know themselves, should have a kind of fellowship before elections day. And as we speak, there's so many volunteer groups, so many support groups that has structures already. Super Volunteer is one. I mean, it tells a local government WhatsApp group for super volunteers. I actually am also in TBA and Take Back Nigeria group, and I know we have groups across local governments. But so far, I've talked to leadership in different volunteer groups. So far, volunteer groups are not really harnessing their database and directing things around polling units. There's conversations about it, but I'm not seeing a mechanism and a strategy. And besides this, there is so many obedience on Twitter and Facebook and social media generally that are not even in any of the volunteer groups or Labour Party. I don't know if there is conversation around this at your level, Ndi Kato, because I think this is something we urgently need to do, to have databases around, the locations, more like geospatial location of obedience, even using data scraping to know who are obedient on social media and tracing them down to their location and polling units. These are basically data strategies. I just hope there's something being done around that. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you. Thank you so much. Would it be called stealing if you offered it? I'm taking what you have just said with respect to this data mapping, which I know is something that needs to be done, but I'm taking it back to the campaign council and noting it. And please, if you can just start a conversation in my DM, please, and so
I've
that
been
we
in your
can carry
DM
on.
since yesterday. Please,
My DM since yesterday.
to get a response. Let me
My
send another one
DMs,
right away.
please send another. My DMs since yesterday have been crazy. I don't even have the presence of mind to be able to answer all. As in, it's crazy. It's what is happening in my DMs. Like, I don't even understand it anymore. Somebody sent me a message saying, "If you don't follow me back, I will fight you." After her, where do I go? Where do I go with this? So it's a lot, but if you send now, I'll be able to pick it out. And
I already did just now again.
Okay, so I'll respond. And with respect to I think I said something about this grassroots thing, but it was with respect to the North I was saying. See, it's not enough that we should be in groups. These groups have to be doing something. Me, I'm in favor of holding house fellowship weekly, so that we know how many we are every week. I'm in favor of holding house fellowship weekly. And this house fellowship must be mapped out to the smallest unit possible, the smallest neighborhood possible. Ward level fellowship. If it's even polling unit fellowship, we should be able to go weekly to know what it is they are doing. So it is how to make sure we can monitor. It's how to monitor these groups and these fellowships and all of that. That is the issue now. And I will take you up on it with respect to suggestions and see how I can pass it on to what's his name, doing Okupe, so that something will be done about it. So thank you for that.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Ma. Thank you, Baba Chade, as well for the question. Thank you very much. I'm looking at the time, and I just want to round off. I just want you to round off, and for you to just give us a round of closing statements if you have any. But first, we want to thank you so much for honoring our invite, for showing up for us, and for taking our questions and answering them with as much passion and sincerity that you have done. We genuinely wish all the best for you. Super volunteers as a team, we love you. When we saw that you were going to be here, we were so excited. We all, watched your interview last night. So, we are, at least we are holding up your hands more. So hopefully, all the best. All the best.
Thank you
all
so
the best.
much.
So we'd just like
Thank
to
you
hear
so much.
a few words before you go from us, departing words as the volunteer groups and you that you are besides the people that we are pushing. So if you have anything to say to us.
So I would say thank you so much for carrying this campaign on your head. You are the real engine room of this campaign, and without people like you, we would not have the campaign that we're having today. I was super, super, super grateful. The candidate, His Excellency Peter Obi, is super, super grateful. Spoke to Doyin Okupe today. They are overwhelmed with gratefulness for what everybody is doing. Like, they can't even believe their eyes. They're so grateful. That is why if people cough small, they will answer. They don't even want to hear that you people said something, that you don't like something, and then they will go and do another one. At all. They want to show that they are very appreciative of this. And this has been the mood in every meeting. Everybody cannot believe what's happening, and they're super grateful. As we go forward, the addition I would have to say is we need to start holding fellowship. It's with fellowship, you see newcomer now. Who are the newcomers among us? Somebody will stand up, you give them biscuit, that kind of thing. We need to start having fellowships round and round, map out words. Even if we don't have that many words now, let's start from somewhere. Map out places where we're holding fellowships on this, inviting people to come and join, to talk about what we're doing, the way forward. And I think it's within these gatherings that we'll find more purpose, find more ways to expand. So that's it. And we must treat campaigning like evangelism. Talk to the next person. If you have any opportunity, me, when I go to the market to buy something, I'll tell the market woman, madam, who they vote for? I ask the people at my supermarket, even before I declare for labor, who they vote for, to ensure. So we must continue. We cannot relent. And we can serve in more than one position. So even if we are canvassing and there's need for polling unit agents, now still we no be different people go come do them. Now still we. If they need people to go and put up posters in somewhere, please, we can still volunteer. Now still we. So looking forward to that, and looking forward to more synergy with the main campaign team. Thank you so much. That is the political party. You are the main campaign team, please, with the political party. Thank you so much for your time, and I really, really appreciate you, and I'm really happy to be here. And all the contributions have been so superb. You guys are the real heroes, and will not take these contributions for granted.
Thank you, Ndi Kato. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Well, thank you very much. We feel so honored that you could make this space. We also feel so lucky that we got you from the other side, and you've been a very, very big asset to this campaign. We thank God for how you came, and it's been wonderful. It's been a wonderful journey. We really, really thank you for joining our space. We thank you for all you've done, and we hope that you keep shining and you keep doing God's work in this campaign. So thank you very much. I also want to talk to every other person. We will be expecting them. PO spokesperson Nana Kazure, she will be coming for our next space. So please tune in for that. It's going to be very, very big. It's going to be very massive. So thank you and good night.
Thank you, sir. Thank you to everyone, and we'll look out for the notification for our next space, so you can save it and attend. It'll be a lovely time for all of us. Thank you to everyone that joined. Let's have a lovely evening. Thank you to Robert, Kato, everyone. Let's have a lovely evening, guys. Good night.